Today on Hopped Up Beer Review, we're going to be trying Frosted Sugar Cookie Imperial Ale from Southern Tier Brewing Company out of Lakewood, New York. Thanks for joining us. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional and somewhat biased opinion about the beer we are drinking and reviewing. We're back to do that once again. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and cheers that notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps the channel out. We would appreciate that. I've got Andy in the attic. I've got Jay. I am Ben. What are we drinking today, gentlemen?
We're going to have the Frosted Sugar Cookie from Southern Tier Brewing Company. Looks
Is this a Christmas in July beer now? Granted, it's not July quite yet, but maybe by the time this is released.
Yeah. Well, at least the bottle.
This is a strong ale. That's what this is.
All right.
Hey, we're getting it in before the Best Buy date. All right.
That's right. Way before. Look at us go.
We'll give it.
This thing is good until October. We had several more months to go here.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates. Ooh. Man.
You definitely get the
milk sugars.
I guess if you're gonna drink something called Frosted Sugar Cookie, you should expect some sugar. This is, as I mentioned, a strong ale. It is 8.6%, 10 IBUs. It uses vanilla and cake, or it has vanilla and cake notes, butter, sugar notes, butter. Sorry, my phone is
trying to do a show here.
I know. That's how dare spam call me at this time. So yeah, vanilla cake, sugar, butter are the notes. You can definitely get that. It uses two-row pale malt and flaked oats and Columbus hops. And it adds lactose and vanilla flavor. It has to add a lot to get that 8 points. And this isn't barrel aged, although it tastes a little like it. If it is barrel aged, they did not indicate it. But if it's not, that's a lot of sugar that they had to add to get this percentage. And that's why I think it's so sweet. Yeah. Southern Tier Brewing Company out of Lakewood, New York. It's a regional brewery founded in 2002. They also have satellite tap rooms in Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Charlotte, and Buffalo. Ben, you asked earlier, you gave the impression that you thought Southern Tier should be in the South. But Southern Tier refers to a geographic area in around upstate New York. It's specifically a geographic sub-region of broader upstate New York. And it's near the state border of Pennsylvania too. Really, not being around New York long enough and talking to enough New Yorkers, and it never came to my mind when I have talked to them. Where does upstate New York start and end? Is it just anywhere north of New York City? The 5 boroughs. Everything else is upstate, even if you're way out west in Buffalo.
Maybe not. I mean, living in New York City for 6 or so years, every time I heard of upstate New York referred to, it was always basically everything but New York City. I'm
Yeah.
going upstate, meaning, you're leaving the city.
Far state.
essentially.
Yeah. We are going a
Yeah.
little north and then west. But so we need to reach out to, Dan at FLX, because they're in the Finger Lakes region. Is Finger Lakes within, like Southern Tier within upstate New York reference?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm sure he'll watch this and give us an answer.
'Cause-
Or we can ask him in our Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server. If you haven't joined, you may have to come there to find the answer.
Because I'm glad you referenced it earlier, Tim, because it makes me think of people, Northerners, seeing that we're all from the South, and their idea of geographical regions to place people. And that reminded me of your story. And I'm glad, you had mentioned it, and it makes me think of, Ben, the world needs to hear your story.
You're referring to the Big Buck Hunter story, right?
Yes.
Yes.
You, the Big Buck Hunter.
That's right. Yes. The Mississippian who has not ever been deer hunting. But no, I was in New York City, was at a bar called Bourbon Street on the Upper West Side. And was playing, I was playing a Big Buck Hunter in the back of this bar. And this guy taps me on the shoulder and he says, "Hey, why don't you let somebody from the South play this game?" I was like, somebody from the South is playing this game. He said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Mississippi." And he turns around and he starts to walk away. I say, No. Where are you from?" It's like, "From Maryland." So it's like, okay, obviously you're south of New York City, but not the South.
And the fact that he came and actually physically tapped you on the shoulder,
Yeah.
I thought that was strange. He really wanted to play that game.
Yeah. So, bro, if you're out there watching,
Yeah.
hey, say hey.
Is it intimidating for them to be, from the South? Are Southerners intimidating? Hey, I'm from the South. I'm going to tap your shoulder. And,
I mean,
but he wasn't from the South. That was,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how Maryland, being from Maryland quantifies as being from the South, especially for playing a deer hunting video game. I don't, so I don't know what the exact logic there is, but no, I mean, usually people would think that I was from Texas, that was the usual. I got up there and they usually told me I talk slow. So I don't know.
I could see that.
I only really got to, I don't know, because that's Texas is the biggest landmass. If you're going to be from the South, I guess it's the best odds of getting it right. I only really got offended if they ever thought I was from Alabama. So,
well, maybe this guy, because Maryland technically is just south of the Mason-Dixon line. So maybe he thought, "Oh, I'm south of the Mason-Dixon line. I'm Southern."
Yeah.
You ask any Southerner if Maryland's part of the South, and we're like, Virginia is barely part of the South, and it's mixed. We don't consider West Virginia South. We consider them an entity upon themselves, kind of like Texas. Southerners don't consider Texas the South. It's Texas.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah, but with the realignments of the football conference, now we have Oklahoma and Texas.
That's a topic for another show.
Yeah. Everybody's like, "What?"
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Has anybody had this one?
I've had it, but I didn't log it.
Okay. So I was going to bring that up.
I have not had it. I've got an extra one. I refrained this time around, so I'll go first.
Well, a couple of our
or I won't. Never mind.
Discordians have had it. So, yeah.
Okay. I think one of them recently, right? You see one have it recently?
Let me go back to it. No.
No, okay, never mind.
If they did,
all right,
they didn't.
I'll jump in there and go first. Gotcha. Well, if they didn't log it, I wouldn't know. So it's not like they had it and they secretly told me about it. So. All right. Anyway, So I grabbed this one back around the holiday. So at the time of this airing, about 5 months ago, got it down in Alabama while down there over Christmas, and saw it. Had never had anything from Southern Tier, even though I lived in New York for a while, at least that I recall, and thought it looked interesting, so I thought I would grab it. I think the first few sips they're tough. Honestly, for me, it's just so sweet, and it's I mean, you get this a lot with beer, and I guess it's maybe the milk sugar. It's a sweet. Sometimes it's a very synthetic sweet. It's I don't want to say it's like using artificial sweetener in your sweet tea like we sometimes do here in the South, but I mean it's just a different flavor. I mean it's not a natural sweet. It doesn't seem to be, at least for me. Um, so the first few sips were challenging. I think it's gotten a little bit better as it's opened up and whatnot. But I mean, this is one that I think once I've had, I'm okay reviewing it, saying I've had it. Glad to have tried a different beer, but I don't necessarily have to have this one if they come out with it again next year. It's obviously our glass here, or it says specialty on the glass. On the image I pulled, it says limited. I don't know if that's still the case so much, but um, this one is just okay for me. So I'm going to give it a 6.5. It's worth trying one time if you've never had it, but in my opinion, you're okay passing it and for something else the next time around.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling similar as you. It smells. The aroma is sugar, butter, vanilla, all mixed in. Just like you're in a bakery, making sweets. But it has got that, and this taste is sugar and vanilla and butter, but it's syrupy, and it's not appealing. Um, you lose the beer. It just feels like an alcoholic syrup drink, and you lose the feel of like, there's a beer there. So it's like you made something and it melted. You made a mixed drink, that real sugary mixed drink, not a beer, and it melted. Maybe it had some ice cream or something in it, and this is what you're left over with. You didn't drink it fast enough. So 5.5. Yeah, like you, I would probably not drink it again if offered.
Yeah.
Again, the reason the score is as high it is because it is 8.6%. So at least I'm getting something out of this.
It almost needs to be a slushy. Yeah, maybe.
Add ice to it.
No.
I think you're wrong.
No, wrong answer.
All right, Jay, what do you think?
For 8.6, it does have a boozy flavor to it. Like Andy had referenced, it almost tastes like it's barrel aged, but it doesn't say that. And I think that is an artifact, as Andy, you referenced. I mean, they have to put so much sugar in this to get the alcohol up. It gives you a really boozy flavor. The first sip or two maybe tasted like a frosted sugar cookie, but I don't like sugar cookies to begin with, so it's hard for me. It is overly sweet, would probably be one of the best ways to put it. It's got that vanilla is packed in there. You can pull that out. Maybe a little bit of the butter, Andy. I don't know. Maybe that's because I just don't like sugar cookies. Yeah, you guys are both in line. I mean, I was thinking 6 on this. It's something I've seen several times annually. I see Southern Tier does some sort of limited cookie type beer, or maybe it's this one. I've had one or two of them in the past, and this is why I didn't have one or two more. So,
well, yeah. Thankfully, we do a beer review show where we can force you to drink one.
I mean, I'd love to try some of their other beer. I skip over them most of the time because there are other things that I know I want. So
I know they have a pumpkin beer.
Oh,
I do know
Lord.
that. So I haven't had it that I
Oh,
recall.
pickle beer in there, Ben.
That is going to be a 6.0 for the Frosted Sugar Cookie from Southern Tier Brewing Company. Interesting beer. I think it's worth a shot, in my opinion, if you want to try something a little bit different. If you've had it, let us know what you think. You can do so down in the comments, or you can swing by our Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server and leave us a comment in there. And the three of us and the rest who have joined us will be there to chat about this and the other beer that we are having on and off the show. Be sure to like, subscribe, and cheers that notification bell again. That costs nothing, and it just helps reinforce the fact that we should keep doing this, right? I mean we're going to do it anyway.
Without it, we have to do it.
And lastly, check us out on all social media links down below as well. And lastly, for the real this time, if you have any interesting Hopped Up Beer Review merch, we have a link below. You can pick up some things there as well. For Andy in the attic and Jay, I am Ben. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.